The gloves are off. The president is not going to support his deputy. That's the verdict out of the Sagana meeting. And the reaction from William Ruto's allies from the larger Mount Kenya region and even from the entire country is also very clear that the gloves are off.
One thing ambaye hatutakubalia rais fanye ni atusukume kwa kona alafu aendelee kutuharibia majina. That will not happen. That cannot happen in the church. Wewe ni kusukume, you never gave reasons why you fired me. Now you want to insinuate that I didn't perform. This government has performance contract. Every minister has a performance contract and they are appraisals. If I never performed, the ministers are there. He can show us. Minister number 1, minister number 2. Hii maneno ya kutuma Sabina cheke, kutuma Monade, jana nilisikia from State House, anasema ati hii maneno ya agriculture wengine tulipatiana, haikufanyika. Me, I want to say the following. We have facts. I've always restrained and refrained myself from attacking the president. I have never said anything about the president. But I want to say this categorically today. If the president attacks me, I'll have no choice.
So the question which Kenyans are asking, who is betraying who between President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto? For a very long time, William Ruto supporters believed that Raila Odinga is the one who was causing the problems between President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto. And I remember opining in this platform severally that as long as William Ruto was blaming Raila Odinga, he was not addressing the real cause of friction between them. Later on, Kipchumba Murkomen told Kenyans that they started seeing a different President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2015. In fact, those who follow politics cleanly, there was a time around that time when Oscar Sudi told his people that President Uhuru Kenyatta is likely to betray William Samoei Ruto. But that's now water under the bridge. Why is President Uhuru Kenyatta betraying his deputy? Now that's the question which we need to really look at. So in this video today, I want to try and explain why President Uhuru Kenyatta has betrayed William Samoei Ruto. I know many people will also say that it is the deputy president who has betrayed the president. But let's assume otherwise, that it is the president who has betrayed him, or is the president who has refused not to endorse his deputy. Why is that? Number one is ideological differences. There is nothing completely ideologically which binds Ruto and Uhuru. Uhuru is a prince. Ruto is not a prince. Uhuru inherited his wealth. Ruto managed to create wealth through Moi. Uhuru is a political son to Moi. Ruto is also a political son to Moi. But there is nothing which really made these guys come together. It was only the ICC. And even that ICC, both these guys were totally in different camps. Ruto was accused of engineering the PEV on Uhuru Kenyatta supporters. Uhuru Kenyatta supporters was also accused of engineering retaliatory attacks on supporters of ODM. So they came together to fight that case. So basically it means there was nothing really which was tying these guys. So when they came into power in 2013, signs started manifesting. Ruto insisted that Nancy Gitau, Mutei Ringo, and others had to leave government. Because in his own thinking, he believed these are the guys who implicated him at ICC. So that was the beginning of the problem. Nancy Gitau is a close ally of President Uhuru Kenyatta, a political advisor, and a part of the deep state. Then, on the other side, these guys also engineered the removal of Marian Keitany, who was the chief of staff at William Ruto's office. So from those points, you could tell that these guys were not going to stay. So there was nothing which was grounding these guys ideologically. The second thing which now cemented this is what we call early campaigns. William Ruto, being William Ruto, was impatient enough. After the last election, he knew so well that Uhuru Kenyatta was going to betray him. So he didn't really manage it so well, in my considered opinion. Ruto did not manage it so well. So he embarked on early campaigns. And in my considered opinion, that was a huge mistake. It was a huge mistake because if you go for an election in August, it's nullified. Then you go for another one in October. Then by January there, you are sworn into office. Then the first thing you start doing is just announcing your 2022 presidential bid. Everybody knew that Ruto was going to go for the presidency. But embarking on campaigns so early when the president was still there, in my considered opinion, was a mistake. It was a mistake because we had 5 years. Ruto had 5 years. He could have still just supported his boss, used the government structures just to go there, just heap any success on the president. What Ruto used to do is this. He started embarking on early campaigns. So he's identifying ODM supporters, ODM member of parliament, then bribing them using roads, using projects. But then he was not crediting those projects to the president. It was like it was him. That's why in Kandahar constituency, Alice Wahome can say that Uhuru Kenyatta has done nothing. And she's saying that while launching a road by Kera. And in that billboard, she's putting her own image as the patron. Kera is a government project. I mean, it's a government parastatal. It's a government institution. So the credit should go to the president. But now, Alice Wahome in Kandahar is inviting Ruto to launch that road. You get it? Yeah? Then credits the road to Ruto while telling people that it's only Ruto who is working, not the president. So I think that early campaign, even President Uhuru Kenyatta talked against it, but the deputy president did not listen. Number 3, which I also considered to be a bit disrespectful, was the choice of allies. Who are William Ruto's allies in this country? Name some of them. If you name those allies of William Ruto, most of them don't have time for President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then when the president started firing some of his former allies, when he fired Itumbi, when he fired Eric Ngeno, when he fired several of them, they found solace in William Ruto's camp. When Echesa was fired, Ruto accommodated him. When Mwangi Kunjuri was fired, Ruto accommodated him. So basically, anybody who the president fired found solace in William Ruto's camp. So what message was the deputy president trying to send to his boss? What message was he trying to send? Very simple. So the president was pissed off, in my considered opinion, because there's no way you can fire Itumbi, then the same Itumbi goes to your deputy and is appointed there to serve. It can't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Number 4 is the central Kenyan politics. And here, maybe William Ruto did well. But let us wait and see how it's going to unfold. There is no way William Ruto can succeed in this country, politically speaking, without getting 80% or 80% of the votes from central Kenya. No way. If Ruto is going to lose 20% of the vote from central Kenya, he should forget about the presidency. So he knew this so well. So William Ruto then decided to start going into Raila Odinga's strongholds. That is Western Kenya, Coast, and parts of Nyanza, which was okay. Then while doing that, he knew Uhuru might not support him. So he went into central Kenya and became the kingpin there. You know, Kenya is a tribal country. That's the fact. Ruto is commanding the support of the Kalenjin, 100%. Raila, support of the Luos, and of course he had the support of the coastal region. So the moment Ruto realized that Uhuru was not going to support him, he needed to consolidate that base. So he successfully managed to do that. Uhuru Kenyatta just monitored him from far. Uhuru Kenyatta is now reacting today that let nobody outsider come to dictate for you the politics. When that time comes, I'll detect it. I'll take charge. So let us wait and see between Uhuru and Ruto, ultimately, who is going to be the kingpin. And you know, politics is about perception. And William Ruto's people are doing it so well. After the Sagana, they started circulating some images which are obviously from nowhere else, because the Sagana meeting almost ended at night. The images of people throwing BBI documents along the road is clearly in midday, which is not the case. And they're using different locations. So they want to create a perception that Ruto still controls Central Kenya. The fact of the matter is Central Kenya can vote for William Ruto, but not because William Ruto is controlling them. Those are the facts. So Central Kenya politics is another thing. Ruto should have let the president to take charge. But in 2017, he knew what he was doing. So he made sure that he controlled the people who were elected. He controlled people, the nominations. He frustrated those who are considered to be potential, people like Peter Kenneth. He frustrated people like Kabogo, gave them people like Waitito, things like those. Number 5 is the handshake. Handshake also helped these guys to separate. Uhuru Kenyatta could not afford having Ruto on one side and Raila on one side. So basically, Uhuru Kenyatta understands that politics, that he can't afford to have Ruto on one side, Raila on one side. And he knew that Ruto he was going to deal with. So he looked for Raila Odinga, and they had the handshake. And because William Ruto also knew that this guy was going to frustrate him, so he refused to embrace that handshake. So the handshake now gave President Uhuru Kenyatta that confidence. Raila Odinga is controlling several members of parliament. So even if Ruto's allies went, then he had those numbers to run parliament. Again, Raila Odinga controls a larger part of the country, which they were not controlling. So it meant if the president was now deprived of support from Rift Valley, then he now had the support of the coast, he now had the support of Western, he now had the support of Nyanza, and even Northeastern. So the president decided, okay, kama ni mbaya weka huko. Number 6, development projects. Ruto committed another mistake. Development project. You can't go and claim that you as Ruto, well, you perform, but your boss is not performing. It can't work. That if Ruto is in other places, he's saying Uhuru Kenyatta is not working, has not performed, yet the project is launching are actually government projects. It can't work like that. Then he went further and preempted projects. So if he knew the government was planning to do this road, Ruto would organize, go there and launch a road without even approval. Then credit himself. So if money is not there, then we have so many ghost projects standing somewhere. But let us wait and see, because in my next analysis, I want to do a critical analysis of the Sagana meeting, whether it's going to succeed or whether it's going to fail. But before that, please, may you have a good time.